Well, good morning, fellow adventurers. Welcome to K2 Garden Adventure. I'm Kelly, and this morning's project is long overdue. So right here, if you're new to the channel or you haven't seen this before, or this is the first video I've done over here that you're watching, this is my English rose garden. So let me move this basket out of the way. So this was just, oh goodness, overgrown shrubs, and that was all just here, like 7-foot tall lavender plants that had all gone to wood, and out of control roses and other sorts of shrubs and bushes and everything. So this whole area from that, the bocce ball scoreboard, that was not there. The patio and the pergola were not there. So this whole area was just solid overgrown shrubs, kind of like the big shrub you see behind the bocce ball court. Let me zoom in there. This whole, oops, and let me zoom back out, get better at this photography thing. This whole berm and area was just all overgrown shrubs and roses and one big giant mess. So when we first came in, one of the first thing we did, I decided let's rip all of that out. And I had this idea, put in this sidewalk and this patio and then that pergola. So like I said, did that back in July. We're now in January. Excuse me, we're now in February. Wow. So back in July and August of last year when I first moved in, I had this done because eventually I wanted to get like a swim spa or something to put up there, but we'll see if that's ever in the budget. But I did have them pour the patio and this little sidewalk that runs down. The brick border was already there, and there was some artificial turf that was already here, but it stopped about where the pergola ends, right over there. Let me see if I watch. So the grass stopped right there, and then that was all just dirt or DG. Was it deconstructed granite? So we poured this, we ripped out all the stuff, poured this patio and the sidewalk, and then this sidewalk is all new as well, that goes down the side of the house, and that patio is all new as well. This whole rock gravel area is also new, and again, that's a future video, so don't peek, but that's where eventually I'll have my cut flower and vegetable garden, but different video. Ignore that. Anyways, but so when I poured the sidewalk here and then had this great idea to do this border with the little rocks to help raise it up a little bit to keep the bark mulch in place. And I wanted to do an English rose garden. So these are all David Austin English roses. We've got Darcy Bustle, and I started with like the deepest pink. They call it Crimson Peak with Darcy Bustle. Then to Gabriel Oak, which is a medium dark pink. Princess Alexandra of Kent, which is a lighter pink. And then Olivia Rose Austin is like the lightest pink. And then we end up at Desdemona, which is this beautiful white. And then it goes into Vanessa Bell, which is a very light yellow. The Lark Ascending, which is a darker yellow. And then finally, Lady of Shalott, which is an orangish yellow mix. So this is my David Austin English rose garden. And then in between that, I planted purple lantana. And behind that, some English lavender. Now the first ones I put in there, they just all they showed up dead from in the boxes in the mail. So last summer I was running into problems. These ones, so I tried a different ones. These are called Hidcote or Hidcote. And they all survived except for this one here. So I do have a replacement for that one, although it's a tiny little starter plant, but I figure, you know, might as well give it a try. So I have English lavender, and then behind there, you know, the Chitalpa, the desert orchid, was all the rage last year. Laura and Jenny, Laura from Garden Answer and Jenny from Gardening with Creekside, and I think even Janie up at Dig Plant Water Repeat. I think all of them planted it, and supposedly it makes a beautiful flower. But it's supposed to be like the best smelling flower in the world. That's what everybody says. So I got a hold of 4 of them and planted them as sort of a back border to the English rose garden. And then, you know, the path came later, but I always envisioned that's where the walking path would go. Then I saw that there was these, they had, at Lowe's, they had these Brazilian princess flowers that were like on clearance and marked as like a quarter a price or something. So they had 3 of them, so I got 3 of them. And these can get tall, but they make beautiful purple flowers. But they have the most beautiful sort of architectural leaves that they're furry and they have structure to them. And then bonus, you get these beautiful purple flowers. I planted one at the old house that when I planted it, I didn't know that it gets like 8 feet tall and can turn into like a tree. So I'm having to constantly prune it back at my old house where that I'm still renting out. But anyway, so I planted those, and so I figured that will be the back wall to the rose garden. Well, then I was noticing like, oh, the space in between where these are going to be and where those lavenders are, eventually it might fill up a little bit, but that's going to take a few years for the Chitalpas and the princess flowers to get big enough. So in the meantime, I was like, I should get something pretty and evergreen that would go in those spots. And then that's when I saw these, Home Depot had a sale on these ever blooming gardenias, the, oh goodness, Veitchii, I'm not sure how to say that. And those were like a really cheap price, and I got a military discount on top of that. And then I think it was Lowe's had a good deal on these, a sale on these Arabian jasmine. Which I had never seen, but these are really neat. Evidently they have these pretty white flowers, and supposedly they release their fragrance at night. So I thought those would, the combination of those, so I alternated those with what, 4 gardenias and 3 Arabian jasmines back here. And so that is the goal for today, to get these poor plants in the ground. You can see that jasmine haven't always been getting their water. I have most stuff on drip, but obviously these weren't planted, so they weren't on drip yet, so I think I forgot them a couple of times. But again, finally got a chance. So please stick around as I get these beautiful plants in the ground and help fill out and sort of finish this rose garden, because that's pretty much it. It's just a matter of doing some maintenance. Not sure what happened with some of these Lantana. I mean, I don't think we've actually had a freeze. We haven't had a freeze here, so not sure what happened to these Lantana. They're on drip and they're very drought tolerant as well. The only thing I can think of is, you know, I was concerned maybe the landscape guy maybe accidentally sprayed them while he was, you know, trying to look for weeds, but that's really weird because you know, I told him he could only spray when where there wasn't any plants around. So anyways, but they're very tough, so I'll also cut those back, get all that dead stuff off, and it's still nice and beautiful green down underneath, and so it's probably a good idea to do anyways. So we'll do that. And then, oh, I did add one more Lantana there, and then another one back there. But this poor guy, he was pretty much dead at Home Depot, but it was the last purple one. But he's still alive, and he's making a comeback. And then I'm crossing my fingers on all these Chitalpas, that they're gonna all come back as well. So supposedly, you know, they've been in the ground, and so this year they supposedly grow really big and fast on their second year, so we will see. But that is enough rambling for now, so let me actually start getting to work, and we'll see you in just a little bit. Okay, so I have gone and I've measured out the exact distance between each of the shrubs here and the roses. At first I was just going to try to eyeball it, and said no, this is supposed to be more of a formal sort of garden space. Get the tape measure and measure it out, and I'm so glad I did, because I was off by like 3 or 4 inches, and that would have just driven me crazy. It's also a little bit tricky because we're on a curve, right? So the distance at the front of the curve is a lot smaller than the spacing at the back. So by going and splitting off of each rose and going the exact same distance, I think it has it lined up really nicely. So I'm really happy with this placement, and now I'm gonna get to drill baby drill. All right, see you in a little bit. So I've got all the holes dug, and I removed some of the sandy soil, which I'm going to replace with this good garden soil. And then, because gardenias like acidic soil, I got a little soil acidifier, and then I'm going to throw in some azalea tone, which is good for azaleas, camellias, gardenias, and rhododendrons, things that like acidic soil. Also, that would be the fertilizer I would use if you're trying to keep your hydrangeas blue, your macrophyllus and your serratas blue. Again, because it's specifically designed, I think, with some acid in there. But yeah, you've got to have soil acidifier. And I made the mistake when I planted the macrophyllus on the house here. I underestimated how much acidifier you actually needed. It's like a full cup for each plant, and I thought I was putting a lot, but it wasn't enough. But and of course, I always try to use some biotone starter to help those roots get going. So at any rate, I'm going to get these guys in the ground and get them some fertilizer to start off their new happy life here in the English rose garden. See you in a little bit. And I'm back. So, did quite a bit while I was away, including helping some neighbor kids sell some Girl Scout cookies, but that's all right. As far as this project goes, we have all the gardenias in, and the Arabian jasmine. They're all hooked up to drip. I fixed the drip on a lot of the other plants, buried some of the drip lines that had never been done, did quite a bit of weeding. I trimmed back all the Lantana, so it got its first winter trim. The only thing left to do is water everything in and then test the drip. But before I did that, I figured while it's here and I'm out here working this project, I should go ahead and swap out this dead lavender for the new baby live one. So we'll go ahead and get that in the ground and then get everything watered in and test the drip, and we'll come back for a final look at the finished, for now, English rose garden. I also did a little bit of trimming on the roses, but I need to go in there and do their full winter cutback just on a different day and with better gloves. I will say David Austin roses, they're stunning and they smell amazing, but there seems to be a general rule: the better an English rose smells, the more thorns it has. So lots and lots of super pokey thorns on these, but the visual and the smell is definitely worth it. So see you in just a few minutes. Okay, well, that solves the mystery of why this particular lavender died. And actually I had two that died up in this area and all the rest were fine, because a gopher completely ate all of its roots. There's a gopher tunnel that went right to it, and you can see just ate the whole thing. So I think it was this one and maybe the one next to it that died. And so there's a gopher tunnel here. So okay, well, shoot, that means I have a gopher operating up in this area. I was hoping it was just moles, which tend to leave your plants alone. So I will have to go get the gopher hawks and go hunting. But I will go ahead and plant this lavender. I actually have some gopher cages. I bought some, but I heard lots of mixed reviews on doing it. But in this case, we'll give it a try. So I'll go get my first gopher cage and see if I can't protect this little baby lavender from the gophers. Okay, so this is the first time I've ever used one of these, but I ordered a box with an assortment of sizes. This was the smallest one they had, so trying to make it work. Filled it up with some soil, and then I'm just going to plant this little guy right in the middle, and hopefully this gives it some protection from the gophers which are operating in the area. So all right, let me finish planting this guy, get everything set back up, test the drip water stuff in, and we'll be back for a final look. See you in a bit. And we are finished. So just a recap of what we did. We had, our 8 existing English roses and the lavender lantana. Cut the roses back a little bit, still need to do their full winter trim, cut back. But I did cut back the lantana. I fixed the drip on the lantana and got them a little more water, adjusted the whole time setting. As I've been adding more and more plants to this line, you got to go back and make sure, if you can't increase the flow out of the sprinklers, let it run for more time. But look at how beautiful and green this gardenia is. Again, with gardenias, because they like acidic soil, we used azalea tone and some soil acidifier, threw a little in there. Hopefully they'll be happy. Now azaleas say they like part sun, but we don't get that hot here, and this is going to get a little bit of shade here in the morning and in the evening. So anyways, hopefully they'll be okay. They've been fine out here in their containers, so when they're actually in the ground and getting regular water, I think they'll be just fine. And then of course we've got the Arabian jasmine, Brazilian princess flower, and Chitalpa desert orchids, and then that row of Hidcote or Hidcote lavender. Oh, there's a beautiful blue jay again, or I think actually, there's 2 of them, they're fighting. Starting the day. There's so many birds that live here in the backyard. It's kind of amazing. It's like a nature preserve. But all right, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, the English lavender, the Hidcote or Hidcote. Replanted the one that died because I got ate by the gopher. So found a baby to put him in there, and I used my first gopher screen, or what do they call it? Gopher cage? Yeah, gopher cage. Put that on there. Another beautiful gardenia, and I gotta say, it is amazing what putting these evergreen shrubs in here, spacing them in there, just how much better it makes this whole garden look. And again, here in the spring, I can't wait until the Chitalpas take off and everything. I think this is going to be beautiful, and also very, very fragrant. Hopefully you were catching on to the theme I got going back here. So those English roses, when those are blooming, that smell it from all the way across the property. They just smell wonderful. But we got those. We got lavender, which smells really nice. There's Lantana, which has an odor. Some people don't like it. I think it's nice. But mostly I got the lavender for the ground cover and the looks. And then the gardenias are some of the best smelling flowers ever. They smell so nice. And then this Arabian jasmine, I've never smelled it before, but it says it's supposed to release its fragrance at night, so that could be kind of cool. Brazilian princess flowers, they don't really have a smell, they just look really pretty. But the Chitalpas, hopefully they'll come and take off, and I'll get to finally smell and see what those smell like, because hear everybody talking about it. But hopefully you enjoyed the video and maybe you learned something. I know I do. I learned why my lavender were dying, because I've got a gopher I gotta get after. Luckily I have a nursery down the road that sells replacements, because I bet you I'm going to find the tunnel leads right to that one, and that's why he's not looking so good as well. So just to close up here, again, you've been at K2 Garden Adventure. Thank you for joining me. It's always an adventure was the saying I've had for my whole life, and now I'm enjoying it while gardening, and great to have you along with me. If you haven't yet, please take a second to like the video, share it. If you have friends, you can repost it on your social media, help me grow the channel. Please post a comment, tell me what you liked or what you didn't like, or if you had a suggestion, or if you know something about these plants. Remember, I'm not the expert. I've only been doing this for 3.5 years, and I'm all self-taught from learning from other people on the internet and doing my own research. So until our next adventure, happy gardening.